Her career was going so well, but while performing with star singer Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl, he accidentally ripped her clothes on stage, fully revealing Janet's left breast to the entire world. It was the start of an emotional roller coaster for her. Now, this video covers the fascinating life of the super talented 1980s Queen of Pop, from her early years with the Jackson 5 to her earth-shaking music career and everything in between. But before we get to the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do leave us a comment below saying you subscribed, and we'll do our best to personally reply to your comment. Alright, from the shadows to the spotlight. Janet Jackson stands out as one of the most legendary names in the pop music genre. Over the past 4 decades, she's released 11 exceptional albums, and her mind-blowing talent continues to pave ways for her even today. There's no denying that she's earned her spot as one of the best artists in the music industry. And even though being born into an affluent family did aid her journey to the top, she had to push herself out of the background and into the spotlight. Janet Jackson was born May 16, 1966 in Gary, Indiana, to Katherine Jackson and Joe Jackson, a musician. She is the youngest of 10 children, and after her birth, her brothers formed a band, later called the Jackson 5. At a young age, Janet began to join her brothers as they performed in public places in the Chicago and Gary area. She truly loved music, and even though she was the youngest member of the group, her voice and exquisite tone brought a unique touch to the group's performances. Her family moved to Los Angeles, which presented them with new opportunities and platforms. In March 1969, the group signed their very first record label deal, Motown, and released their first hit song. Although Janet was living out her dreams of being a singer, she had a deep desire to find her own way and to come out of her brother's shadow. She was committed to making a name for herself in the entertainment industry. Janet as a teen actor. As Janet and her brothers were touring the world and performing in different exotic locations, she was gaining exposure and discovering her other talents like acting. She finally got a chance to showcase her acting skills in the variety show The Jacksons, where the entire cast of the show were her and her entire family. Now, she may have only been 10 years old at the time, but her performances made it obvious that she would make an amazing child actor. Due to the performances on the show and the positive comments that spread about, the super talented last born of the Jackson family began to gain the interest of producers at the time. The next year, she was selected to star in the 1977 sitcom Good Times. Janet was said to be a natural on set. Her incredible performances led to her being selected for more roles in several movies like A New Kind of Family and Different Strokes. As of 1980, she had managed to finally start carving her own path as an independent entertainer. But for some reason, she still felt controlled by her father, and she began looking for a way to break free from him. She fought for her independence from her family. Janet was said to have an estranged relationship with her father. In fact, a biography revealed that her father instructed her to call him by his first name only, which created a certain level of emotional distance between them. However, even though Janet was the youngest child, she had a naturally daring and bold personality. She learned from an early age to stand up for herself and speak her mind. During the early 1980s, her music and film career began to pick up, and she felt the need to break free from anyone who was exerting control over her talent and life generally. Her father, Joe Jackson, was her manager at the time, and he had arranged a contract for her with A&M Records to enable her to record and release her first few albums. After she recorded her first solo album titled Janet Jackson, the album did poorly on the music charts. 2 years later, she recorded Dream Street, which turned out to be another disaster. After her second album, she decided to end business affairs with her family and find her way in the music industry. She eventually fired her father in order to gain full control of her life. In a later interview, she describes how she felt then in these words: "I just wanted to get out of the house, get out from under my father, which was one of the most difficult things I had to do." Her earth-shaking music career. In the mid-1980s, Janet decided to record a third album with producers Jimmy Chan and Terry Lewis. She officially released the album Control in February 1986, and it turned out to be a hit, selling 5 million copies in the US alone, spawning 6 hits including What Have You Done For Me Lately, Nasty, and When I Think of You. The album immediately shot to #1 on the Billboard 200. This was officially the beginning of her streak of successful albums. The instant success of her songs established her as a dominant pop figure, alongside artists like her brother Michael and Madonna. From 1986 to 2005, she released several top-notch albums, including Rhythm Nation, 1814, Janet, All For You, and Discipline, each topping billboards internationally at the time. One thing that stood out about her songs was the fact that her lyrics always touched on several sensitive issues in society like insecurity, injustice, and mental health. Janet's success in the music industry earned her the title of the Queen of Pop, a well-deserved title. She also won several awards throughout her career and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for the revolution she brought to the music industry and the impact she made through her career. However, just like every other successful entertainer, Janet battled with several challenges at certain points in her career. When depression and anxiety hit. In 1999, Janet began to suffer from chronic anxiety and depression. She had built a successful career for herself and her songs were being streamed all over the world, but she was struggling to maintain her mental health at the time. In her low moments, she decided to record an album titled The Velvet Rope to express how she truly felt about self-image and people's innate desires to fit into society. Now, when the album was released, she began to appear in public again, but she had changed her image. She completely transformed her looks by dyeing her hair red, piercing her nose, and getting tattoos, which shocked her audience. The album ended up being a hit, and she was able to pass her message across to the world. The Super Bowl performance saga. One of the downsides of being an entertainer is that mistakes are made during public performances, and they're hardly ever overlooked or forgotten. In February 2004, Janet was chosen to perform alongside Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl halftime show. Justin was supposed to pull off a layer of her costume during the performance to reveal a red lace bra that she had on. However, Justin mistakenly pulled off and tore her entire costume, leaving her breast open. The unexpected incident ended up tainting her image and affecting her career at the time. She later apologized for the accident and continued working on her future albums, but the incident wasn't forgotten quickly. Notable movie roles. From the year 2010, Janet's full-blown fame and excellent acting skills led to her appearing in some notable films like the comedy drama film Why Did I Get Married To? She also appeared in the 2010 film For Colored Girls, also several other films. Janet's marriages. Now, Janet's married life is one part of her life that's been rocky. Her first marriage was with singer James DeBarge in 1984. Unfortunately, their marriage ending just a few months later. She got married again to dancer and songwriter Renee Elizondo in 1991. They kept their marriage a secret from the public for 9 years until they decided to go their separate ways in 2000. She then got involved in some other relationships for the next few years until she met businessman Qatari in 2010. Janet decided to keep their relationship private till they got married in 2012. Unfortunately, that marriage also coming to an end in 2017, and Janet has remained unmarried since then. Janet is now an author of a powerful self-help book titled True You, A Journey to Finding and Loving Yourself. She continues to inspire millions across the world to shoot for the stars and pursue their passion wholeheartedly. So, which of these facts about Janet Jackson caught your interest the most? Let us know in the comments section below, and check out the next video in this series.